Hey guys, and welcome to episode... What episode is this?
I want to say 18.
No, I think we have 18.
Really? Let me
check it real quick.
Anyway,
welcome to episode insert number here of Break Time. I'm Alex.
I am Eman.
And this is actually our first episode of Break Time that we're going to be doing fully on video for your viewing pleasure. And Eman right now is checking...
Okay, this is 19.
This is 19, so
yeah.
we did 18.
Yeah, we did.
We did 19. And it's been a little bit.
It's been a hot minute.
We had a break.
The last time we had a break.
It had to have been like
time.
2 weeks.
4 weeks.
Was it 4? It wasn't 4 weeks.
It's 4 weeks since the last one was. That was when it was released.
Oh, what was that last one called?
Calling in affects other people. It's the one where we did it in the daytime.
Huh? I don't remember. Did we film it in the daytime?
Yeah, we did.
Was that like when I was like short on time or what? That had to have been it.
Yeah,
why else would we have filmed it in the daytime?
It was after I did that run and almost died. Went for that job.
I think it was because you were going to be working that night.
Yeah.
And I was also going to be working.
No, I was off.
Huh. Then it might have just been
something
me.
happened to where we had to record in the daytime and it felt really fucking weird. We
yeah.
had a good conversation though.
Yeah. So so obviously we're going to try a few different things with Break Time. The first one is that we're recording. We want to start doing the video thing. The other thing is we're going to start making Break Time a little shorter. We're going to try to keep it to a 30-40 minute podcast, kind of in chunks for a few different reasons. One, we think it's a little easier to digest. Two, it kind of keeps us on track with conversation. And three, it's something that is more time to where you could actually listen to it during like your break time.
Definitely.
Which is what the show is kind of named for. But
yeah.
But Eman, what have you been up to?
Man, just working, exercising, of course, eating right, hanging out with family, friends.
It's kind of weird taking into account that now there's a camera.
I know. I'm not talking to you anymore, man.
Yeah,
so
we can still talk to each other.
We can. It's not the same.
We can still talk to each other. I just wanted to address the camera directly.
I'm just going to go to bed, man. Fuck it.
You want to look later? Hey, don't mess up the set. We're going to mess up the framing.
I'll be all right.
We can't move or anything. Yeah, really can't do nothing.
I've just been working, man, honestly. I need to find something new to preoccupy my time. Or to occupy my time, dude, honestly. Because if I'm not at the gym working or doing my stock thing, I'm like, it's nothing to do. You know what I mean? Or hanging out with friends. It's like nothing to fucking do.
Just push the podcast.
Oh.
You can push the podcast.
Or we could do the podcast.
Or we could do the podcast. Yeah, you know what, whatever. No, so obviously we took a break. That was very much my fault. I went on a trip. Just been dealing with some personal stuff. Then my car breaks down every other week.
Yep.
That's just, that kills me a lot. And then I'm trying to get the work thing done.
Then I know you've been telling me you were busy organizing some kind of rally in Charlottesville.
Shut up! Oh my!
I don't know what that's about.
Wow.
Never looked into that.
Well, people don't seem to understand. I'm not a Nazi. Easy. I'm kidding. I gotta ride that line very close.
So carefully, right? Dude, we gotta get into that, man. Maybe in the next episode we'll do it. Huh?
God, well, by next episode, the next thing will have happened. I don't. It's so crazy that it is. Well, like the exact statement I just made is crazy. That's an accurate statement to make. Like, oh, by the time we talk about it, the next thing will happen.
Yeah.
Because there's always something happening.
It's always
like,
something.
I think
sometimes it's overdone, overplayed, right? They're reaching for a story, but other times, like what recently happened, it's like, goddamn.
Yeah, but I also think that we're getting so conditioned that we don't notice that so many things are happening.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, the next thing has already happened, and it's just in the noise of the news.
Yeah.
That it's normal to us. Like, oh, the next terrible thing has happened. Next thing. Or it's same thing on the opposite end. Oh, the next best thing has happened. Next best thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's just the bar is being raised in a really shitty way.
Yeah.
Like, what would have been trending for a month in 2006 is like a flash in the pan now.
Oh,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? Because the frequency is so crazy. Like, remember when the Sandy Hook shooting happened? And even, I'll take it back to the Columbine shooting, right? When that shit happened, it was like trending for a year, damn near.
Oh, that was life for
for
it was like
time.
that was the like the OJ case where like the OJ thing was so long.
The Zimmerman case.
Yeah.
And now
the Zimmerman case was a big thing, but
and now like
it's next
200 over 200 school shootings happened last year alone.
I don't know.
Something like that?
I don't know if that's
School shooting,
accurate,
but
but
mass shootings.
yeah. But
So it's fucking.
but the point is, there's so much violence going on now.
Yeah.
Like back then, it was like, wow, they took guns to school and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Now there are kids who get arrested for taking their dad's gun to school all the time. It is nuts.
Mm-hmm. Weird times, man.
I do want to get into something because the conversation is going to lead to something that I want to talk about with that book that I'm reading.
Okay.
That I want to talk to you about. But really quickly, because the video is a new thing, I'm going to get up real quick just to make sure that we are still rolling and going. Mm-hmm. And we are still rolling. And
Is he doing good? He's got it?
going. Huh?
He's got it? Okay.
Yeah,
Just
our
making
camera
sure.
guy.
Yeah, our camera guy.
Yeah, our
He's,
camera guy that we pay, like...
He's new.
Yeah, but you know, when you work at a big, globally syndicated podcast, can podcasts be syndicated? I mean,
Shit,
yes, they can because this one is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So right, Tom. Yeah. Yeah. Thanks.
Dude, I hope we get it, man. I hope we end up bumping out Amazon for the highest revenue grossing company per year. I know we're
I'm just
at their tail, but
I'm at a spot right now because did you hear about Trump's tweet about Amazon?
What do you say? Oh, he blames it for the mass loss of jobs.
Yeah. So Trump's talking about Amazon. I just got off the phone with the press secretary earlier and had to beg them for us not to be the next thing he's blaming because we're so big.
I don't want to be
we're such a global conglomerate.
I don't want to be a target because if we are a target, I don't want to topple the U.S. government. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Because we're going to.
You don't want to beef with us. You don't want to beef with us. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you step up to us, you're just what you're really doing is going, hey, can you help me take a seat? You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
Exactly, man. Exactly.
So no, but I did want to get into. I'm reading, and I'll pull it out right now. So, me and Eman both listen to this awesome other podcast called the Brilliant Idiots Podcast.
Beautiful podcast.
They're amazing. You should go check them out. Not nearly as big as
you guys know the host. Maybe not. Okay, you guys know the host. Charlemagne the God, Andrew Schultz.
Is Charlemagne the host?
Yeah, they're the host. They're the two hosts.
No. Oh, I thought you were saying like Charlemagne was the host.
Oh no, sorry about that.
Yeah. So anyway, they recently had an author on. His name is Mark Manson. Am I saying that right? Mark Manson? Yes, Mark Manson. So they had the author Mark Manson on the Brilliant Idiots podcast, and he was talking about his book, and the book is called and I have it right here. The book is called The Subtle Art of Not... I'll put my word over here.
Okay.
It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. Now... obviously, just off the bat, it sounds like a potty mouth book and just sounds like it might be ridiculous. But actually, they were talking about it on that podcast, and the way that the author and the guys were talking about it, it's very, as much as the title might turn you otherwise, it is very tasteful in how it presents things. It's really, at the base of it, it's a book about what to and what to not give a fuck about in your life. Now, really what that breaks down to is values, like what you value that is going to take up your time and effort, and then what you don't value, and what is something that maybe society or your friends and family have taught you to value that maybe isn't the best value to hold so in such high regard. But one of the things that this book actually goes into, and I thought was interesting because we're actually talking about it right now, is that people... There's an obsession. There's a few points I want to hit, and obviously it'll lead to conversation. But there's one point that I really like in this book is that today there's an obsession with being the best. Everyone wants to be valedictorian. Everybody wants to have the best business. Everybody wants to have the biggest following on social media. It's about being bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Now, that's because we are conditioned that failure or that shortcomings or mediocrity is terrible, is really bad, you know?
Yeah.
So that's why now, like I have parents who went to school, and my dad would be like, yeah, I'd make B's and C's, and I was doing good. I was getting by. Now you get like a B+, everyone's like, dude, you going to community college?
Yeah.
Like, it's terrible to do that. Now, the reason I bring it up is because it goes on to talk about how the media is, just in general as a society, but mainly in media, is they only talk about the worst occurrences that happen.
Right.
You don't hear about the mundane. You hear about the worst thing that's happening, or the best thing that's happening, because that's what gets ratings. And because we're so conditioned to either see the worst or the best. There's nothing in the middle.
Yeah.
And if you fall in the middle, you're failing.
Yeah.
So now people are either the best at things or people are the worst at things. That's why you have people that are either striving for success or people who are like, I just don't give a shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to be a bum, like maybe get Social Security, live on a beach house with 2 other friends that can help me pay for it with their Social Security.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think that's very crazy that it's kind of, and it's right, like in a way we're getting brainwashed to think that those shortcomings are just failures. You know?
I mean, and there's no, it goes both ways. It's like a double-edged sword, you know what I mean? Because you don't want to not strive to be the best at whatever you do. Like we had this conversation I was saying when I was a simple fucking entry-level drink maker at BJ's. My goal was to be the best drink maker that company has ever seen. And fuck it, I'd say I was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I got a lot of hours. They really appreciated me there. My tip outs were nice. I reaped the benefits of striving to be excellent.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just at a very entry level job. So, but I mean, you don't want to become obsessed with this idea of greatness that you might see on like social media or in movies where, you know, if your name isn't in headlights, if you're not making millions, if you're not affecting 1 million people's lives, then you're not doing your part.
You're not doing anything. Yeah.
Exactly. It's very, this is the problem when there's no nuance in the situation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because the guy in the middle, Joe, the blue collar worker who works at the factory.
Nobody wants to be Joe.
Nobody wants to be Joe, but Joe is doing his part. It may not be the part of like a fucking Wolf of Wall Street or whatever, but he's still doing his part. He's affecting somebody. So it's just a matter of appreciating the nuance that life has to offer. You know what I mean?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So.
And you know, it's nuts that like you're saying, nobody wants to be Joe. Nobody wants to be in the middle because, like I said before, you're either the. Let me put it. Perfect example. That's a stupid example. Is have you ever seen Talladega Nights? Will Ferrell, where he's the race car driver.
I saw clips of it a long time ago, honestly.
Well, in Talladega Nights, Will Ferrell plays a race car driver named Ricky Bobby, and Ricky Bobby's whole saying that he got from his father is, "If you're not first, you're last."
Exactly.
Yeah, and that's very much the mentality that we have now. That it's like you're either the best or you're the worst. You can't fall in the middle because if you fall in the middle, you're mediocre, and if you're mediocre, you mean nothing. You have there's no point to your existence. You are just living. And you know what? Unfortunately, there has to be people in the middle.
Yeah.
But then those people get so depressed, like about that, about like having a regular life. And this book mentions this, how in the 50s and 60s, you know, guys got out of college, got out of high school, maybe they went to college, maybe they just went into the workforce.
Right.
They made their money, they collected their check,
and
came home.
Never heard from them again.
No. But brought food home to their wife and their kids.
Yeah.
They were happy.
Yeah.
The furnace went out and they had to go fix it. They were happy.
Exactly.
To go do that.
Exactly.
Now it's like, oh man, I just got done doing my job at Chase Bank and I'm sitting at home feeding my family, but I need something more. I need something more. That's because every time you turn on the TV, you see the next person that won the lottery. You see the next success story. You see the next Oprah, the next Mark Zuckerberg, you know?
And the problem with that, man, is that it's not wrong to want to strive for that level of greatness, like I said previously. But it's just, the problem is that people are not shown just how long it takes. There's no patience in this approach when in their mind state.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? If they don't see results by next Tuesday, they're fucking out. They just quit.
Oh, yeah.
And that's their approach at life. So you see a whole lot of quitters. I don't know the numbers, but they're saying the failure rate, the dropout rate for millennials, and people our age is fucking tremendously higher than it's ever been.
Yeah.
Because we don't understand how long hard work takes. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Not only that, the book, you know, I'm going to keep referring to the book because it has a lot of great remarks in it that seem like they're common sense things, but the way that it puts it into perspective for you, it kind of tells you like, hey, this is what's going on and this is maybe why you don't think about it that way. Or, hey, this is what's going on and you honestly, like realistically, you just don't want to accept that. Like you just don't want to say, hey, I'm messing up, or hey, the world is this way and I've got to deal with it. So one of the things that it mentions, I just forgot the point. What was the point that you just made?
Patience.
Patience. Yes. It was talking about how a lot of people, happiness. That's a big thing with people. And a lot of people see happiness as something that you get handed, or something that just like it's like when you beat a level in a video game and you get a reward. People see happiness as the reward for like just getting to a point. Like people are like, hey, if I get that Bentley, I'm gonna be happy. Hey, if I get a 5-bedroom house, I'm gonna be happy. If I get that girl, I'm gonna be happy. If I make my band better than Metallica, I'm gonna be happy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And people, that's why people like I'll just use the example, like maybe not exactly him, but just similar, like Robin Williams, like Kurt Cobain. That's why those people have millions of dollars. They're so famous, and they commit suicide.
Right.
Because like they're like, why am I not happy anymore? I have what I think I want, but I'm not happy. Now, that's because people are like, oh, happiness is given to me, is bestowed onto me when I've reached a point, which isn't true. Happiness is the struggle of the hard work.
Exactly.
You know, and happiness.
Aerosmith, life's a journey, not a destination.
Yeah. But like the book goes further into how, you know, really happiness is struggle, and the things that you're willing to struggle for. You know what I mean? Like the things that you're willing to say, like, hey, this sucks right now, but you know what? I like that it sucks because I am working towards this. You know, and you get happiness from working past and overcoming the sucky parts.
Exactly.
You don't get happiness because it's easy, and then you get to that point and you're like, hey, I'm here. Where's my happiness? Like, it doesn't happen like that. Like, an angel doesn't come from the sky and go, here's your happiness, 4 pounds to be exact. Bye.
Exactly. Look, man, I want to quote a book. Or actually, I want to quote a guy that I follow on YouTube, Elliot Host. I talk about him all the fucking time. He was talking about a movie, I think it was called, I'm sorry, a book. It was either called As a Man Thinketh or Man's Search for Meaning. I can't think of which book in particular it was, but he was saying, so the book is about a famous author who during Nazi Germany, in the World War II era, he was taken from his home and he was put into a concentration camp. And this man was a world-renowned author. He had written plenty of books, owned a house. He was very successful, right? But he was put into this. God, you throw me off. Sorry. I need someone to talk to you.
Sorry, no, I was just checking the camera.
Yeah, whatever, man.
He was put into what?
So he was put into this situation where the living condition was just horrid. It's a fucking concentration camp, right? And so he was saying that every so often, when he wouldn't work at a pace they wanted, or he just acted up in a certain way they didn't appreciate, they would put him in this solitary confinement room, and he would only eat once a day. And what they would feed him was the leftovers of what they fed the other slaves. And so it was like this potato soup, right? And so when you were doing good, you got the top half of the potato soup, which had all the potatoes in it, had everything you want in it. But as you got to the bottom, it was just you're getting like water, just soupy water pretty much, right? And so he was saying that he was in there for like 2 or 3 days. He was fucking starving. And they finally brought him a bowl of this disgusting, what we would call disgusting potato soup, right? He gets it and it's just water. That's what he's used to getting because he's in a shitty condition. He's getting the worst food. But he mixes the bowl around, right? And at the bottom of the bowl, there was a potato, a chunk of a potato. And he said that in that moment, he was the happiest that he had ever been. Happier than when he published his first book. Happier than when he became a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Happier than when he bought his first house. In that moment, he became the happiest he had ever been because he received a chunk of potato in his disgusting Nazi concentration camp soup. Yeah. Because when life is that shitty, you begin to appreciate
your values change.
Simplicity of it. Yeah. The smallest things make you happy. Yeah. You know what I mean?
The last thing I'll mention about the book is that it is really a book about values and the things that you're going to hold dear and you're going to appreciate in your life. You know, some people value the materialistic, and in reality, that is just a high that they're getting. They're getting that little injection of dopamine where they're like, I feel really good about myself. Exactly. That goes away as soon as you have it. You know what I mean? Like, I saw this shirt and I went, I need this. It's going to make me feel amazing. I want this shirt. Bought it. Don't give a shit about the shirt anymore. Exactly, dude. It's a shirt I own now. Yeah. Now, you know, the things that you want to value are family, honesty, your friendships, your loyalty to people around you, you know, helping people.
Your mark on the world.
Yeah. And that mark doesn't always have to be creating Facebook.
Exactly.
That mark can be, hey, I helped out a homeless guy today. I gave him some food, or hey, I had a friend who was having an issue and I helped them. Those are things that you should hold in high regard because those are things that you work toward. You know what I mean? Yeah. Those are things that you get to see the fruits of those labors. So ultimately, at the end of the day, the book is about values and what you're going to hold dear to your heart and what is a good value and what's a bad value. You know? Yeah. And I thought this was a really interesting question because for me, I was trying to think of like, what do I value? Like, and why do I value those things?
Mm-hmm.
And my first thought is, hold up, sorry. I'm really nasally today. But I'm like, what do I value and why do I value those things? Now, my first thought was like, well, like my values would be getting a good job, making a lot of money, you know, so I won't have to stress about making payments on things and paying for things. I don't have to think about what's in my bank account. Now, I thought about it, and I'm like, well, do I really value that? Do I value having a good job? Which isn't necessarily a bad value, but the reason I value it, I think, is bad. Because in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm just going to do it, and I'll just have I'll have a good job. I'll do whatever I have to do to make that money.
Yeah.
What's going to happen when I make that money?
Yeah.
You know? I'm going to have it. I'm going to have my house, which, again, it's not bad. I'm not saying I'm not going to do those things. I'm not saying I don't want to do those things. I'm saying that your value shouldn't be to make money to be happy.
Mm-hmm.
The value should be, what can I do that I love to do that will make me money so I can live and have a good life? Not to make money so I can buy the house or the car.
Exactly.
Whatever, you know?
Exactly.
So I thought about that, and I'm like, well, then that's not necessarily something I value. And I was trying to think about what I do value, and I value like my relationship with Serena, my girlfriend. You know, I value that a lot, and I put in a lot of time and effort into it, and that's what I like. I value the Champions, the charity organization that I'm with. I value that. I put a lot of work into it. I value my family, my friends, and those are all things that you can value that I think are really good values.
Yeah.
So Eman kind of off guard, I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, but what do you think is something that you value, and why do you value that thing?
Something that I value is among other things, one of the biggest things that I value is the idea of change, right?
And what do you mean exactly?
Just evolution, anything. You know what I mean? Anything that involves evolving and becoming a better version of yourself, right? Because you speak of like getting a career, getting a stable job, doing all these things so that you can ensure that you're taken care of, right? But my thing is that as you acquire those things, as you attain those things, problems that you are facing now that you think are going to be completely gone once you get that, they probably will be gone. But it's just the problems going to elevate. Anything that's awesome is going to be equally as shitty.
Oh yeah.
At any facet in life, right? And so,
well, because you're always gonna have problems.
Exactly.
You know, the only thing that changes is that now you have problems at a different level of life.
Exactly. So once you get to that level, but you're still thinking at the mind state of 5 years ago when you wanted to be at the level you're at now, it's a recipe for disaster. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's old hardware in a new computer. You know what I mean? It's gonna crash. So I think that in every facet of life. That's fucking. You hear that?
Yeah, it sounded like something hit the window.
That's been happening like so often. It's really weird.
Really?
It's like something sitting in my fucking window. Yeah. So what was I saying?
About.
Okay. Yeah. So.
Okay.
You can make it to that level you want to be at, where what your goal's at. But if you do not know how to personally grow yourself, whether it's mental, physically, then the system's going to crash every fucking time.
Oh yeah.
You know, personal development and growth and change and evolution is so fucking important. You know what I mean? So that's something I really value because it made me the man I am today, you know? So that's a huge value system of mine.
Okay. Now, going back to, I guess, like for you, your value is personal growth.
Yeah.
And I guess having something where you can constantly do better. See, now that to me that's a really good value because that's something you can always do. You know, there's not a point where maybe one day you will and you'll have to find out what's next, but there's not a point in the foreseeable future where you're going to plateau.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. That's why, you know, like that's why you have people like the Kardashians and what's his name? God, the really rich guy. Scott Disick. In the Kardashians, like that's why people like him have all these things and then they're depressed and their life falls apart and all that. Because you're never going to get rid of problems. You're just your problems are going to go into the next bracket. It's like taxes. You never get rid of taxes. You just go into the next tax bracket.
Yeah, they elevate with you.
Yeah, or you fall. Yeah, like if you're homeless, you're going to be worried about food and money and all that. If you are middle class and have a family, you're going to be worried about food and money and all that.
Yeah.
Then if you are a millionaire and then you're going to have a party at your house, you're worried about food and money and all that.
Right.
But you're just worried about it in a different capacity, in a different way.
Exactly.
Just the way the problem presents itself is different.
It's crazy because that's such a American thing, man. Because in this culture, money is fucking everything. Money is the pursuit. I mean, if you're not pursuing money, then what are you pursuing? You know what I mean? You're a fucking weirdo. So when you finally attain that, and then you see that you've been wasting your time on this pursuit of something that you're never going to be satisfied with, no matter how much of it you have, then you start to tap in those really existential questions. Like, why am I even doing this? I've spent the last 30 years of my life growing my wallet, and all I have to show for it is merchandise. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Superficial bullshit that doesn't matter. So then you get in those really, really heavy-hitting existential questions. And then you'll see it, you know what's happening because you'll see billionaires who they've achieved everything that society says they should. They've made their huge mark on the world. They've altered the world. But then once that becomes not enough, what do? They start donating billions to charity and shit, which isn't a bad thing. Yeah. But it's like they're trying so hard
They're trying to look for something that gives them purpose and that gives value to their life again. Because they invested so much into this thing. That's why sometimes you have CEOs or big guys in corporate businesses that all of a sudden detach themselves from the business. And everyone's like, oh my God, what happened? What terrible thing has happened? Did someone get fired? Is there bad blood? I don't know. That could very much be the case. Or they finally went like, hey, I'm going to die in 30 years. Like, I should do something. Yeah. You know?
Yeah.
And to me, that's the craziest part about it, about thinking about any of it, is, you know, and sometimes I think about it and I'll stop and I'll be depressed for a little bit. But one day, if there is no God or whatever, one day I'm going to die. Right. And there is, like, I will just cease to be. Yeah. Like, I won't have any more thoughts. I won't have any more things to say. I won't have any more times where I'm going to hug people or tell them that I love them or whatever. I'm just going to be gone. Yeah. And one day, nothing is going to matter. Yeah. Like, so, to me, I would rather leave my mark on a few people or do something where I am happy and the people around me see that I'm happy. Uh-huh. So when I die, it's like, it's not like, oh, he was trying so hard for us to survive. It was, oh, Alex died, but he was doing what he loved. Like, you know, he got to live a full life. That's what I think about. Yeah. A lot of the time is that, you know, because I could drive home after this and I could totally, you know, I could crash or something and shit,
you lived on Petrenko, so you just might.
Thanks. Well, you're driving me home. You're driving me home.
God damn it. Yeah. We're both going out.
You just kick that. I'm gonna check that wire.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, man. And dude, you know what else really depresses me too? Going along with that.
What's up?
It's like, god damn, man, we're so intelligent compared to everything else around us, right? That we sort of place this high value on ourselves where we think that we're really significant. We have some higher place in the universe just because we're human. You know what I mean? Yeah, but like you were saying, at a certain point, you just cease to exist. You fucking die. There's no more you. You know what I mean? So it's like, where am I going with this?
I just think that it's crazy that, and this gets into a whole nother topic, but it's crazy to think that there are people who are like, humans are the end all be all. This is it. Exactly. This is all there is. There's such an expansive universe. There are things that we find out that exist under the ocean that we didn't know. Like there are things on our own planet that we're discovering. Yeah. You're telling me there's not something up there that we don't know about?
Yeah, man. And my point earlier was like, probably hundreds or thousands of people are dying right now.
Oh, yeah.
That we will never know about, we don't know about, and we will never hear about. You know what I mean? Because, I mean, but in their life, they're the most significant thing in their universe. But for us, they die. It's a flash in the pan. We move on. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like to them, they're the star of their movie, and we're the side characters. And to us, it's the opposite.
Exactly.
We're the main character, and they're the side character.
Exactly.
You know, and I don't know. That is crazy to think about. We pass by people all the time. They're like, man, maybe they have family members or people that they know that have died that aren't here anymore. You know, and there's it's a really stupid comparison, but I think it's kind of relevant to the conversation. But there's a game that I played a long time ago called Fable 2. And in the game, you become this hero who saves this like old-timey, like, I guess, middle age not Middle Ages, Dark Age kind of
like
town.
medieval, right?
Something medieval. There you go. Anyway, but you become this hero and you pick your own story and all that. And at the very beginning of the game, when you learn to fight, you kill your first enemy. And when you kill your first enemy, your trainer, this woman that's walking you through this journey, she says, think of all of the moments that you've had in your life. Think of all the experiences and all the memories and all the things that you've said, all the people that you've met. The guy that you just killed had just as many.
Exactly.
And now he doesn't have any. And it's a video game, and it says that, and I'm like, but in my head, I'm like, that's actually really, that's very existential.
Crazy.
Like,
Yeah.
that's very like, wow. Like, okay, video game, I'm beating up pixelated enemies that don't
You're
exist.
making me question my entire existence.
Exactly,
right now.
you're making me question my life.
Damn.
So,
but that's so true, man.
Yeah.
It's so true. So I guess that's why people want to sort of achieve that level of greatness where they are recognized on a mass scale, because if not, you're just another crank in a gear that at some point is going to cease to
You're
exist.
a blip
that
on the map.
No one is going to recall.
Yeah.
And to be honest, that scares the shit out of me, man. Because if you're not, you could be Joe at the factory who aims to feed his kids and that makes him happy. But if you're not affecting the a large scale of people in a positive way, or the globe or the universe or whatever, you're kind of just wasting resources for your own mission. You know what I mean? You're giving back to those closest to you.
Yeah.
But you're using the resources around you to do so.
Yeah.
So at a certain point, if you break it down to that most basic level, it's like you have to give back in effect on a global level now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We don't live in 10,000 BC where we have our kingdom and our people, and we provide and protect for our people, and it's much more easily to be known on a larger scale.
Yeah, no, I get you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I know what you mean, because like now, like our kingdom or our stronghold is our house.
Exactly.
And our family and all that. And
Exactly.
that's such a closed group of people.
And at a certain point, you're designed to break away from the family and create your own kingdom. Yeah. So even at a certain point, the family is sort of out of your universe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why that's why I want to achieve greatness, man. Like that's why I don't want to live a life of mediocrity, a blue collar life. And if you do, I totally respect it. One of the happiest guys I've ever met, fucking Henry, who lives the most simplistic life.
Henry.
Your dad.
Oh, Henry. Okay,
yes, dude.
I thought you were talking about Henry from high school. I was like, what? Henry? Do you remember
so
Henry?
Random, yes.
Yeah, no, that's what I was like. What? What's going on? Did you know Caleb owns, or not owns, or he like works with his dad's like towing company or something? Yeah, man. Does he own it or does he help out with it or something?
I think they're grooming him to take it over. That or he does own it. I don't know, but he has some huge involvement.
Yeah,
he's killing the game, dude. He's killing the game.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, man.
But I don't know why I just thought about that. But yeah, no, and I just think it breaks down to what your values are and what you really want to do. My thing is like I work with kids a lot, you know, and you know, my thing is if I can help one kid or make them think a little bit differently, then I'm good.
Yeah. I've
done what I have. Other than that, like honestly, like when I open up the things that I want to accomplish in life, I want to live a good life with Serena, and that's it. Like that's like my, as far as values and what I've broken down that I really care about, like that's it.
Okay.
And I can do other things. I value other things, but like if tomorrow it has to be like, hey, pick one value that you get to keep and that's it, it would be that.
Okay.
And that's just me, but it's different for each person. Mm-hmm. And it's what's going to be a good, like I think your value is a good value as far as personal growth and wanting to be better.
Because it encompasses all that. If you're a person who strives to be better, do better, and create better energy in the universe, all that's going to come to you. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's kind of a blanketing value that I have, but I hear what you're saying though, man.
Yeah. So, anyway, but the kind of thing that kicked off our conversation is this book. Again, it's by Mark Manson. It's called The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's an amazing book. I really like it. I'm not done with it yet, but it's amazing so far. Even just for what I've read, I would say it's worth the cost of it. I can't remember what it costs.
It's a fucking book club now, dude.
Yeah, right.
Podcast
Next week, we're going to be talking about How to Kill a Mockingbird and talk about if Atticus actually was right in his statements throughout that novel.
And stay tuned for July 3rd of 2018 when we break out the Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants.
Remember, November is Hunger Games month, and it's going to get a little hungry. No, but you can pick it up at like Barnes and Nobles. I know they have it on Amazon and shit.
Yeah.
It's if you go to the like Barnes and Nobles and look for it, it's a big orange cover. So, but it's a great book. You should totally check it out if you get the chance.
For those of you who like to read or don't read and want to get into it.
It's also it is also an audiobook and shit. We're not
we're not fucking sponsored.
Obviously, we're not sponsored.
I'm so ready to stop talking about it.
Yeah.
Fuck you, book.
I know. Yeah, we're not sponsored. So, anyway, but I'm really worried about the book. I like that book. Oh, it's fine. Oh no, I lost my page.
Nice, man.
Damn it! Hold up while I find my page. I think I was like on page like 90.
Dude, you know what, man? I don't know how much time we have left, but I know that we do shy away from political talk.
Go ahead.
But I think at this
I'll
point,
give you a full 30 seconds. No, I'm kidding.
We're gonna have to. It's
man.
too much to fucking ignore.
Go ahead.
Charlottesville.
Yeah.
The white supremacists.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor. The whole racist scandal he has going on.
Conor McGregor has a racist scandal?
McFucking-Gregor. Of course. I was waiting for it.
What?
I was waiting for it.
What'd he do?
But I give him a pass on that one.
Right?
Yeah, he's the Irish guy going to fight Floyd. I give him a pass.
You can't go, I don't like blacks.
No. Like, I wish it was that. I mean, but no, man. So, Conor McGregor is from Ireland, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know the history of Ireland, but in Ireland they say boy.
Oh, I heard about that.
They refer to each other as boy a lot, and they have these. The context behind their verbiage and their vernacular obviously is going to be different from the context of vernacular.
Well, I'm sorry. Finish giving the setup for it.
Yeah, it's different to that of course America. It's two different countries with two different histories with a crazy different variety of people in America. So certain words like boy may be a term of endearment in Dublin, Ireland, where he's from.
Yeah.
But in America, if said in the wrong context to the wrong person, could be unlocking Pandora's box of just historical, racial bigotry and slurs and just disrespect to black men in particular. You know what I mean? So the reason I give Conor a pass is because at the press conference, Floyd and he were talking shit, and it's an audience of like thousands, tens of thousands of people. And it's the heat of the moment. They're talking shit. They're angry. And Floyd starts shadowboxing. He's getting cocky, right?
Yeah.
And Conor, while he's shadowboxing, goes, dance for me, boy, dance for me, son. And so, back in, of course, slave times, they would.
Now, who's he fighting again?
Floyd Mayweather.
Yeah, is he black?
Is Floyd Mayweather black?
I don't watch any of the shit, so I don't know.
Floyd Mayweather, is he black?
Is he black? He's black, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Dude, I don't know.
What is fucking Floyd?
Dude, I don't know. The only one I ever see is the Irish dude because he's funny to look at.
Dude, Floyd and Pacquiao.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
On,
I couldn't put a face to
we've been talking about Floyd since we were in diapers, man. But
I guess I'm just not that into it, and I didn't want to assume that.
I get it. Because, I mean, I'm the same shit when it comes to superheroes, and you're all in that.
Yeah. So John Stewart, Green Lantern? How about that, right?
No, but...
right?
But,
right?
God damn it.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, but, yeah, so you could tell it was completely ignorant.
Yeah.
And my problem is, I do give him a pass, but my problem is, like, how quick we are to throw out the word racist.
Oh, yeah.
Racist should be a powerful word when it's used in a situation that actually calls for it. But we fucking devalue the word racist. Everybody is a fucking racist. Bill Maher was racist when he said that joke.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's because he was. No, I'm kidding. No, well, the same thing that happens with gay. With the word gay. Because for a while, everything was gay, and you lost what gay meant.
Exactly.
Or, and gay really isn't even the proper way to be saying it. But, for a while, it was like, oh, you're gay, man, or, oh, that's so gay. You know what I mean? And
it fucking loses its value, man. Like, when we call the racist, and they are racist, the racist in Charlottesville, those are fucking racist.
Yeah.
They prefer another race because of the color of their skin. Mm-hmm. That is a racist.
Yeah.
Conor McGregor, that's ignorance. So you can't confuse ignorance with racism.
Yeah.
Because a lot of motherfuckers are ignorant. I had to sit down and break it down to Isaac as to why the word boy, and I'm probably going to break it down to you, as to why the word boy has a a bad taste historically for the African American man.
Well, 'cause wasn't
and
that
you
what-
grew up in Texas in the South, and you didn't even know this shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, but isn't it because that was what like they would call
Black men to
Yeah.
devalue them.
yeah, like in time of slavery and even after that, it was always
Well after that.
yeah.
Well after
It was boy, just because essentially when you're a man, that's seen as masculine,
Right.
And when you're a boy, you're demasculating someone,
Right.
You're making them less of themselves,
Right.
So it was a thing where they would call African Americans boy to devalue them as a person.
Exactly, as a man.
You know,
as
to
a
take
man,
them down
to
a
show
peg.
that you're still beneath me.
Yeah, but before this came up, would you have seen that as racist? Like boy, like is that something that that predating this, was that something that you had on your head? Like,
Yeah.
man, boy is racist.
Yeah, it
Really?
definitely is. I've had talks with friends about it because I don't say it's, like I said, I don't think it's racist.
Yeah.
Because if you
In a
call
certain
me boy,
context, yeah.
If you call me boy, I know that you don't understand the cultural context in this country of
Yeah.
the word boy.
Yeah.
In the way that you're using it.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't consider it racist. I would call it ignorant on your part.
Yeah.
Not even blaming you. It's just you're not black. You're not
I just
in this
don't-
world.
Maybe, and I just don't think about it because all throughout high school, it was like it was like, oh man, is that Nathan? Man, Nathan's
That's
my boy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's
so like,
it becomes really, really clouded, and you're expecting people who don't understand the African American experience to understand every single bad.
yeah, but at the same time, you also, well, I get what you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
you can't expect people who don't have that experience to understand it first.
Exactly.
But at the same time, you also can't turn around and tell the African American person like, well, hey, get over it.
Exactly,
Like, it wasn't
exactly,
racist.
exactly.
Like, it's both sides. You can't assume that somebody else knows, but you also, if you do know, you also can't assume that, hey, man, get over it. He didn't mean it that way.
And if
there
you were to
is going to
call
be
me-
some reaction to it.
Right. And if you were to like say, man, calm down, boy, like I wouldn't know that it's not racist. So it's my job as someone who is not ignorant, who is in the know, to enlighten you on why you shouldn't refer to me as a boy.
Yeah.
And at that point, the ball is in your court. So if you decide to call me a boy again, then it becomes you're kind of creeping into the racist territory.
Oh, exactly.
But it's my job to not be offended by that, but to enlighten, because that's how ideas are. That's how people progress.
Exactly.
It's conversation.
Yeah, and that's how that's how fights start. Like when someone goes like, "Hey, dumbass," and you're like, "Hey, don't call me a dumbass, man."
Right,
Like
right,
you
right.
told them, like you
Right.
said it. You're like, "Don't say that."
Right.
And then they do it again, and then you fight. Like that's.
And then
I'm
it's
not
fair
saying
game.
that's a normal human interaction. Like
Right.
someone said something twice, you don't like, you fight them. You fight them. You
Some old school shit.
you punch them in the faces.
Yeah.
Faces meet fists. No, but I'm just saying, like in a situation where that could potentially be the case,
Yeah.
you warn someone. It's same thing. Like a better non-violent example is like when a company sends another company a cease and desist.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Disney sends Nickelodeon, like, "Hey, stop making that cartoon because it looks too much like Mickey Mouse."
Yeah.
If Nickelodeon chooses,
Dude, we're 14 minutes over the time.
you're good. If Nickelodeon chooses to keep on doing that, Disney's like, "We warned you. Now I'm going to sue you." Like
Exactly.
you give the warning because someone is ignorant to it. You know, and I think that's the biggest thing. And the word ignorant, I think, is something that a lot of people are ignorant to. Because a lot of people, it's bad to be ignorant. Because ignorant means stupid. But ignorant really just means you're not fully versed in a particular subject, which isn't bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy how different cultures, how the nuance is so extreme.
Yeah.
If I were to run into a bar in downtown San Antonio and say, "Hey, you fucking fags," they'd say, "Would you call me puto?" If I were to go to London, run into a bar and say, "Hey, you fucking fags," they'd say, "Sorry, mate, don't have any cigarettes, bruv."
Yeah.
Like it's so
You can't smoke here.
exactly.
You fucking nut.
My dad's gonna get mad. But fag
My
in
dad's
America,
gonna get mad.
We're fucking
We're
like
grown-ass men. I'm
But fag in America means gay. It's an insult to a gay person. Fag in London means cigarette.
Yeah.
It's so extreme.
Yeah.
And not everyone's gonna know that. So if you were to go to London and say that, or if a London person were to come over here and say, "Hey, fag,"
Yeah, London,
you can't get mad at that person.
Yeah, someone from the UK walks into a gas station here and goes, "You got any fags?" Like, they're gonna freak out. That gas station attendant's gonna be like, "Oh, I'm quitting. I'm recording it. I'm putting it on Facebook."
CNN.
Yeah.
Like, it's your job.
Jake
somebody
Tapper's tweeting
in the
about it.
know
Okay.
to stop it when it happens. To enlighten.
Yeah.
Enlighten. That's what wise people do. I am wise to my history, so I will enlighten you to my history.
Yeah.
So you can proceed through your life with a sense of wisdom. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that's how you grow. That's how you evolve. That's how people evolve. So no, I mean, I've come across very, very, very few racists in my life, but people in Charlottesville, the supremacists,
Yeah.
those are racist
Oh yeah.
because they understand the history. In fact, they fucking study it,
Yeah.
and that's racism.
Oh yeah.
Conor calling Floyd boy because he doesn't understand the cultural context is not racist. Bill Maher saying a distasteful joke saying he's a house nigga is not racist.
It's not racist, but like we mentioned, it's also it would be very, very, I guess for lack of a better word, it would be dumb for us to not also take into account that, hey, well, it's not racist.
Yeah.
There's going to be an immediate reaction,
Of course,
because it's going to rile up people, or it's going to bring out something that maybe makes them uncomfortable, or maybe brings up something that makes them upset.
Yeah.
So
maybe Bill Maher was a bad example.
well, no, I think Bill Maher is a fine example. I just think that either way, no matter what, you should be, because even I didn't see the video, but from what I read during the press conference where McGregor said boy, the audience audibly understood that immediately as maybe a racial thing. Yeah. And apparently even the audience...
I was watching it live and I said, oh, don't say that.
Well, exactly, but even the audience had some distaste immediately.
Exactly.
But that's to be expected, you know? And apparently...
he didn't realize he fucked up at all. He was just so oblivious.
Apparently even McGregor, a little bit after that, kind of like noticed that there was an ill reaction to it, and he kind of started saying something else. Like,
and he never referred to Floyd or any other black person as boy again. You know what I mean? And that's how it goes.
You learn.
You evolve. You level up.
He realized, oh, that's not a thing here. I can't do that.
Yeah.
So he stopped. But
it's also career suicide, so good on him. But
yeah,
you know.
So, Eman, I guess we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this episode.
You want to, man?
Break
I
time.
Keep going, dude.
Yeah. Well, I want to try to be strict with the time.
Okay.
And also, I keep messing with my nose because I'm just I am all congested and stuff.
No, I hear you, man.
Apologize for that, people watching the video. But thank you guys very much for tuning in to episode. This was 19, right?
Yep.
19 of Break Time. Eman, is there anything you want to say or tell our audience before we end this episode of Break Time?
No, there never is. I have nothing to say to you people. Just keep tuning in.
One day you'll have something to say.
One day.
So, again, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Again, you can check us out on all of our different social media outlets, on Twitter, on Facebook. No one ever uses our Twitter. I'm kidding. You use it, right?
I try to.
Right? Okay.
I do, and I'm going to use it to upload the stuff.
Okay,
That's
cool.
when I use it, so.
But yeah, guys, thank you very, very much, and we'll catch you next time.
Yeah. In fact, our Twitter is the most... I'm still on it.
I know.